Hey, you want to know everything about SvelteKit and composition? Look at the video. You will be able to discover library management with modules and compose your application. Look at this. Boom! And everything fully typed. So stay tuned. Hi everyone, welcome to this new video speaking about modules. And actually modules and SvelteKit and GraphQL. What is it about? Let me show you my GitHub project that I will share with you at the end of the video. And we will speak about the backend with GraphQL Helix and graphql-modules, the frontend with GraphQL urql, and specifically toolings, because this is what is important in this video, with the code-gen, of course, some few tips and FTtemplates that I'm using a lot. Let's jump now into our favorite IDE, VS Code. No worries about the theme, it's only to know that I'm working on a SvelteKit project, okay? When you start a SvelteKit project, I will not go in detail of everything, but basically you have a source folder and then roots. And in the root, I have a layout that will be common to everything under this page, okay? And I will set, for example, the urql GraphQL client. And I have what is interesting here, user root, where I'm able to query a get user document. I will go in detail after to this, and being able to render a user list, okay, with a list of user. And I have another component called user add to add new users, okay? So I'll need to yarn gen to generate all the code. And then when it's done, I have to yarn dev to start my server. So on my server, I have one root called user, what I showed you here, with two users hard-coded. There is no database involved today. So user 7 and user 8. I have a page directly here called graphql to be able to display our loved graphql. And when we hit run here, I have my two users, user 7 and user 8. Okay? So let's go back to the code and see how we do all that. I showed you a bit the user, and in the lib folder, I have a module called user, okay? And to initialize this module, I need to go in GraphQL server and add to our GraphQL module one module called user module. Let's see now in the user module, what do we have? We have typedef, where we have here a user type definition with an ID and a name. And in the query, I have a list of users, the thing I just showed you. And if I query one user by the ID, I return a user. And in the mutation GraphQL, we have create user mutation. If I go back to my website, I can say hello, add, and I have a new user coming here with the name hello. Okay? Pretty cool. So we have the typedef, we have the resolver with only static stuff for now, with user 7 and user 8. We have also on the client side, we have a folder here, GraphQL, to represent the client side, and we have a query get users, okay, which is simply calling the users GraphQL resolver with a fragment called user, where I get the ID and the name. Coming with this, we have also a UI folder where I can see already some component, right? And in my component user list, for example, I do a for each user and I display a card with the ID and the name. When I have my card here, I have my ID and my name. Everything is type safe, as you can see here, with the code gen that generated me all the user fragment and everything. This is the beauty of it, of course. Same thing on the resolver part. Here, when I come here, all the args and everything are fully typed because we use CodeGen, and CodeGen helps us on this. Pretty cool, but now how do I add a new module? This is quite complicated or long. I need to not forget any files. So what I did is that I use FTtemplate, which is on top here, to be able to add a new module very simply. When I click now on module and create a new templated folder, I will add a new entity that I will call channel. So I hit enter. And now in my module folder, I have two folders, the user module and the channel module. When I add a new module, I need to yarn gen to generate all the types. And I need, he will remind me, did you add all modules in the create application? Yes, in the create application, I need to add the user module, but now also the channel module, all right? And now the two are available from the GraphQL point of view. So when I go here and I remove this query, and I want to query now, sorry, I need to do F5 to refresh the schema, channels, and then if I do ID and name, I hit enter, and then I have my channel 7 and channel 8. Perfect. Now I would like to have it also a page, okay? So I have a channel here, but I have no page found. So let's add a new page in my roots folder, add new file, channel.svelte. So already it's not complaining anymore, it's already here. Let's be lazy and copy all the user part here, okay? And I will replace Control H, F5, I come here, I refresh, perfect. I see my channel 7 and channel 8, I can already create a new channel. Great, perfect. Everything is fully functional. Let's look a little bit here. So I have a context module when I do my load function, where I will send a props to the client with the query get channels document. This is fully typed, fully generated by CodeGen. Okay. When I'm coming here, I have a export-let channels that want the channels coming from the server and will display it in the list here. The list is also something fully generated when I added a new module, you remember. And the channel add is the same thing, fully generated when I added just a new module. So in one click, I get all this for free. Now, let's think that we have a nice UI developer who build some custom cards, let's say, for our application. So I have here a UI, and I have card and card list. Let's go in the channel and come here UI, and let's say we don't want to render the default stuff, but we want to render the card that was developed by our UI designer, right? That is coming from lib directly, lib UI, not in our module. I go back to the website and I see that it's already available here. Pretty nice. And I think I can come here and say that it's blue. Exactly. So the channels are blue. Let's go now to the UI coming from user, and I will do the same thing. So I will not use the default rendering stuff, but this one. And when I go back to user here, yes, perfect. We are in a nice theme with Svelte, and channel here is the one in blue. And when I create a new channel, so the channel hello, enter, wow, I even have a cool animation. When I hit F12 to see a bit what is going on in the server side and everything, and F5, so I refreshed everything. I go on the channel level, and if you see here, let me zoom a bit here. You see that it's 700 because we have it here available, channel 7 and channel 8, right? When I hit F5, just before, I have this 700. I cleared all the network tab, I go to user, and now in user, there is no refresh of the page, and there is a GraphQL query to get the user 7 and user 8. All this is coming for free somehow with SvelteKit. Remember, I simply wrote, close all, in the root, users, I simply wrote this part of code, and this will do the trick of the server render or not server render with our GraphQL. All this fully typed. One thing that I want to add is that here we just added a complete new entity. Let's go back in our module, and now in channel, what I want to do is to add a new functionality, the functionality to add users on channel. So I do create new template, and I will do a add remove one, and the add remove, I want to add remove users on channel. Enter. Doing this is adding few items. So if I go in the type def, I can see that I extended my channel to have a list of users out of the channel, okay? And I can see that on the mutation, I have a add user in channel and remove user in channel. So I just added now the few files. I need to come here and yarn gen. And generating this, it will generate me all the resolver. So I go back to my graphql and I add here the ID user 222 and ID channel 333. I run the query and boom, I have everything coming here. It will tell me also on the console log, I have to implement somehow the add user in channel. Again, everything is static here. So what I wanted to show you is that FTtemplates are really powerful. And here I have an example of FTtemplate. Of course, you can come here and tune everything as what you want in your project. So if I come here and you want always to have the nice cards always, then you just remove this, then completely remove this, and then boom, your code will generate everything what we want with the nice UI, right? All right, let's do a quick recap then. We saw then the project SvelteKit. The project is divided in two parts, the root and the library. In the library part, we have all the GraphQL to initialize modules and also the client part. We have also some helpers to have nice UI, things which are really dependent on your application. Then you have modules, the key concept here, which is filled by templatization with this FTtemplate, which is a really nice tool. Here the example was with users, channel, etc., etc. And the beauty is that on the root part, we can simply compose our application and use all the library part into our roots and compose in a fully typed manner. Thanks for watching this video. Please add a comment if you have a question or something. I would be happy to help. You find here the link to my GitHub account with this SvelteKit module if you want to test it. Speak to you soon. Bye.